Welcome to the latest of my deep dive videos. Today I'm going to explore the Aries Solar Eclipse, the last in a series which occurs global on the 29th of March, providing a backdrop for the next 6 months. It's at 9 degrees in Aries, so just in the first decan, but it's also conjunct a fixed star called Algorand, which has quite the reputation. Also, I'm going to share with you the event chart based on Placidus, but also universal and the prime meridian. That shows that Mars, the ruler of the sign of Aries, is right on the ascendant of this event. How does that play out in terms of the overall gathering of energy in the sign of Aries? Because it's not just the sun and the moon, it's Mercury in its retrograde, but also critically Chiron too. And Chiron is afflicted by Mars. We also have a posse of players in the sign of Pisces, one of which, Neptune, is about to make its grand entrance through to the sign of Aries on the 30th of March for the first time in 164 years. Neptune's going to be in Aries this year through to the 10th of December, but because it's just tucked up behind where the event occurs, it is still very influential, not least that it's in an exact conjunction with that retreating Mercury. That does hold some mystique, that combination, but also some challenges. I'm going to go through all of this. I'm going to share the solar event chart for you that we can all collectively relate to, then that natal event chart, which helps us to understand in much more detail exactly the way that this will play out. I'm going to share with you the exact timings of all the major cities of the world, and then I'm going to go through each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces to give you a flavour of what you can expect over the next half year, the period of impact. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. Thank you so much for joining me. All your views and interactions are truly appreciated. If you're new here, if you have any thoughts, please share them. This is very much a community. If you've yet to sub, please help the channel to thrive and click the bell notification symbol too. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, I am a consultant astrologer. Please see my testimonials below. I've got a new service, my astrology video service, which is proving incredibly popular. Please see the links below for that. Or you can take advantage of my unique long-standing offer. You can order your personal birth chart, your life roadmap report, and understand the patterns that are played out in your existence so far. But in my special offer, you also get 30% off with your 12-month transit forecast. The combination of the two gives you Syrian insights to guide your moves future forwards. Please see the link below for more. I have a new website. Please join us there. You can sign up for your free daily written horoscope to be fired to your device each morning, or you can sign up for your free moon natal forecast each morning. Please see below for more about that too. Now, this event occurs at 9 degrees in Aries, so anyone with planets between 7 and 11 degrees in the cardinal signs of Aries, Cancer, Libra or Capricorn are going to feel this in an angular way, in a very keen way. And if you don't know where your planets are, you can download your free natal chart by looking underneath this video to see the link. So this Aries solar eclipse is also a supermoon. It occurs at 9 degrees in Aries, just towards the end of the first decan, which is sub-ruled by Mars, and of course the sign of Aries ruled by Mars too. Mars is about initiation, it's about thrust, it's about assertion, action. It can be about a determination, a grit, a resilience. It can be an energy that motivates us to take action in a very direct way. The sign of Aries is the first zodiac sign of the zodiac. It is, of course, a fire sign. So that brings an incredible amount of intensity to this event. But on the screen now, I'm sharing the solar event chart. And that shows that Neptune, just about to arrive in the sign of Aries, is very, very close, only a few minutes away from the position of the retreating Mercury in the sign of Aries, which itself is just about to re-enter the sign of Pisces. So essentially they're going to meet up, then swap on the 30th of March. But that shimmering alliance can definitely heighten the frequency of our ability to download atmospheres, but not necessarily information in a particularly clear way. Mercury thrives on clarity, but also it is the planet of communication. So having Neptune so close to it on this event suggests that over the next half year, clarity may be at a premium. Now we do have something to assist things, because Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, the collective, is angling very positively to the position of Mercury. Pluto and Mercury, when they're well aspected, can help us to cut through the mist, and we're going to need it, because unfortunately having Saturn, the North Node, Venus and Neptune and the Mercury position just about to come back into Pisces, so close together, suggests anything to do with the subconscious or what's hidden, what's not completely obvious, is going to be very potent over this next half year. Further, you can see that position of Mars, the ruler of the sign of Aries, 2247, is in an exact square with Chiron, the so-called wounded healer in Aries. So Chiron in Aries, along with this eclipse series and the North Node before it retreated into Pisces on the 11th of January, were pushing us over the last year and a half to really invest in what makes us individual, to be as dynamic as possible. Not necessarily to be selfish or exclude what other people feel, but just be very singular. And if we have something that we're inspired by, to really pour our energy and resources into it. But Chiron in Aries can be where we're finding it difficult to manifest our individuality. We don't feel seen, we don't feel heard, we don't feel recognized. So this solar eclipse is an opportunity over the next half year to work on that principle, but Mars's right angle to the position of Chiron suggests it's not going to be easy, because Mars in its fall in Cancer is a very reactive position, and it's possible, particularly when I show you the natal event chart, that Mars is actually going to be perhaps the most powerful of all the players in the mix of this event, apart from that conjunction with Neptune and Mercury. So I'm sharing on the screen now the event chart from a Placidus viewpoint, and you can see that there is Mars right on that first house cusp. We do have the part of fortune applying to the first house too, and they're both forging a very constructive link to Saturn. So where we take action but we stay in touch with how it feels, because of Mars being in the water sign of Cancer and Saturn in the water sign of Pisces, it could be very, very positive. But you can see there is that position of the Sun and the Moon, but they're in House 10. House 10 is where we connect to the wider world. It can be to do with our goals and ambitions, also be to do with our employment prospects, but critically it can be to do with authority, and it can be to do with the state, big corporate business. It's much more to do with the traditional approach to things, and because Saturn, although it's in Pisces, is in that 10th house, what we're seeing is people applying their energy to the levers of power in a way which isn't necessarily very sensitive. So having Mars on that first house suggests there's going to be a lot of incendiary emotion over the next 6 months. So however much we might want to be very dynamic about anything we're starting that's fresh and different, and perhaps to do with beginning a new enterprise, being more entrepreneurial, perhaps raising our profile to achieve greater recognition, I feel collectively in the world at large, how we all earn a living, but how also we're controlled, or the expectations that there are for us, is going to be the key area. And anything to do with information is going to be critical, particularly with Neptune and Mercury in that shimmering conjunction, which, to be honest, is almost like distortion central. So we all need to keep our wits about us. Pluto helps us in the event chart because it's in the 7th house, where we're mitigating our boundaries. Also, it's in the sign of Aquarius, which is the collective. Now, whether it is in Turkey, whether it's in Serbia, whether it's in Spain with tourism, we're seeing lots of people coming on to the streets and saying loudly how they feel. We're also seeing a lot of public demonstrations around a certain car dealership worldwide. And it's because we're seeing citizen politics at work. Pluto in Aquarius, because in the time that Pluto's been in Aquarius so far, it's one or two people, because they control the technology, have had enormous influence over us all, but people are finding their voices. So my view over the next half year, and you might find it rather controversial, is that we are going to see a major amount of public unrest, because the 10th house is very much about control. It is about the orthodoxy. It could be where force is used in order to try to control people's thoughts. And because we do have Venus and Neptune in an exact conjunction, that's idealism central, but Venus is in retrograde. Might be exalted in Pisces, but Neptune creates perhaps a heightened hopefulness in one ways, or could create some crushing realities. So however much Aries is very much about getting on the front foot, being very singular in our approach, focusing on what's really important to us. I think there is a bigger picture here, and a lot of that fire energy tempered by the simmering water energy in Pisces, which could be frustration, anger, particularly if people feel that they've been tricked or deceived. That can see an outpouring of frustration, and with Mars on that ascendant, it's not necessarily going to be an easy time for us all. I really honestly believe that. On the screen now, I'm showing the exact timings for all the major cities of the world. So Aries, if you have something that you want to start and you're feeling very excited about it, the next half year can certainly be an opportunity to be very enterprising, very direct, and really thrust forwards with a great sense of conviction and self-belief. But will you have total self-belief? The collective in the sign of Pisces does suggest, particularly because of Neptune being there initially, that your subconscious, your emotions, your fears can be a big part of what may inhibit your the speed of change in your situation. So it's going to be important to embrace your shadow side, and that could be some of those anxieties. It could be if you have any blockages, to try to look at them directly and release them. But also it may be that there are people around you that haven't necessarily got your best interests at heart. So what you're needing over the next 6 months is people who will cheer you along. But if there are people around you who no longer serve your greater good, this may be the time when certain associations and relationships will come to a natural close. If you do find yourself wanting to engage more with psychology, healing, counselling, for example, that's really positive too, because if you come to terms with some of your past, it will free you up to be that much more dynamic in the here and now. But if you do have planets around 7 to 11 degrees, and you are very, very much in the process of getting something moving that's very, very important to you, that you're very invested in, and you do have a real sense of certainty, the next half year could see you make huge progress. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. So Taurus, you have a legendary sensual compass which helps you to stay in touch with what gives you a sense of security, and also you appreciate the good things in life. And that can be in a material way, it can be in a more aesthetic way too. But having a solar eclipse, the last in a series, in a very psychological area, along with Chiron and Mercury, suggests over the next half year that maybe some parts of what you have been involved with or who you were connected to that could be in a state of flux, which may sound a little challenging for a sign like yours that loves the status quo, really appreciates stability and security. But the inspirational energies for you, including your ruler in the sign of Pisces on this event, is asking you to think much more about what makes your heart soar, not so much in the physical realm. It's just that tiny but powerful Pluto in your 10th house does suggest that something around your connection to the world at large, particularly professionally, could be in the mix. One of the things that can show up for you over the next 6 months, I feel, is the whole principle of energetic exchange. Whether it is at work, whether it is with friends, whether it is with a partner. If that exchange of energy feels uplifting, then persevere. If it doesn't, there's an opportunity with this event to get much closer and deeper into the psyche of your very core, because that core is going to guide you towards what's really important for you, particularly when we get to the solar eclipse, the blue moon, towards the end of September this year, which will be in your sister earth sign of Virgo. And that's really going to ask you to be very much in touch with what inspires you. So you could find over this next half year that you may be bringing certain parts of your life to a natural conclusion. And if that's the case, whether it's certain involvements, friendships or interests, do try to be philosophical about it, because there's a bigger picture shaping up which is truly exciting for you. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. Gemini, your connections to other people are really emphasized by this eclipse, particularly professionally. When it comes to your work, it really may be a case of who as much as what you know. But Mercury, your ruler, is in retrograde still, and being so close to the very opaque, mysterious energies of Neptune does provide some potential challenges. If you're not quite sure on what's really important in terms of your work or ambitions, it's going to be important to reach out to people who perhaps can encourage and nurture and support you. So friendships and your network are very much to the fore on this particular event, but not just in your personal life. It could be professionally as well. Now, Pluto in your 9th house can be very revolutionary, but the concept in a way is about knowledge, and your knowledge can grow hugely over this next half year, and that's all going to feed into finding just the right balance between what you need emotionally and what you need professionally, which will become much clearer by the time of the blue moon solar eclipse in September of this year. But for now, if something doesn't inspire you, it may be that you need to replace it or them with the things or people that do. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. Cancer, if you don't feel that you're getting the recognition and appreciation in a professional context, the thought of pushing for a change might be very much to the fore over the next half year. Now, because Mercury, the planet of commerce, is in a retrograde in Aries, but very close to the shimmering, misty, potentially distorting energies of Neptune, it's going to be important that any information you're considering or within your own personal thinking is something that you do reach an absolute point of clarity around. Now, Venus is the planet of money, Saturn the planet of structures. They're both in your 9th house of contracts. It is possible that you're thinking about something around a contractual matter. If you do have planets from 7 to around about 11 degrees in Cancer, you are going to feel this event very sharply. But if you do want to pitch for a new job, you feel that there is one that really would fit your skill set and you could make quite the impact around, as long as you have that clarity, you can really go for it and seize a golden prize. But I think for some Cancers, it's where you are not so satisfied, where you're not really enjoying it. It doesn't really meet the more spiritual dimensions of your nature. It may be that you could be in a role at the moment that has some of those qualities that did seem appealing to you, but you could be minded to let them go if it meant you could get more in touch with the more spiritual feeling dimension of your nature. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. So Leo, your fire energy is burnished in a beautiful way with this event. Particularly if you've got planetary influences from 7 to 11 degrees, it's a great chance for you to push outside your comfort zone, be more dynamic, whether it's around your interests, your love life, or perhaps travel. Maybe to do with higher education too, perhaps to do with being more enterprising when it comes to a business idea. The 9th house can also be about publishing. If you're someone who's got a message you want to share, use the passion of this event to push forwards and be as fresh and dynamic as you can possibly muster. Yes, there is that collective in Pisces that does make you mindful of your connections to others and also the money that might be needed to do things that perhaps are more spontaneous and more energized. But if you have any chance at all to shake up your world and live more in the moment and get in touch with the more individualistic and freedom loving part of your nature, seize it with both of your hands. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. Virgo, the 8th house solar eclipse is about transformation. But the 8th house is also about where we're most invested, can be financially, emotionally, spiritually, even romantically. And of course, solar eclipses give us a chance to really burnish our hopes, particularly a fire solar eclipse, in a very dynamic way. What's not to like? Well, if something isn't working for you around a relationship, the 8th house can also be where things close, come to an end, as much as where they can begin. It's the cycle of life. So it's a very psychological area for you, but because the solar eclipse, the next solar eclipse, is going to occur in your sign in September on the blue moon, in a way you're clearing the emotional decks in order to take much more personal control and a firmer grip over your life direction, which will come through on that event in September. But from then until now, if you do want to squeeze more from your financial assets and be a little cannier, you can do it. But if you're talking to anyone and getting any kind of advice, I think that's the area that you really need to be mindful of. I wouldn't make any quick decisions unless you really think about the potential outcomes, even the ones you don't want, and that careful analysis will protect you through the more challenging side of this solar eclipse, but there's a lot to go for sure too. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. So Libra, if you're single and you'd like to bring someone into your world over the next 6 months, this eclipse gives you a lot of encouragement to go for it, particularly if you've got planets from 7 to 11 degrees in Libra. But of course, eclipses are not necessarily events that work just on their own. We need to look at the broader picture, and the broader picture suggests, with the gathering of energy in the 6th house of your chart, if you're doing a lot of giving but not getting a lot back or not getting a lot of acknowledgement, you may use this solar eclipse to set your boundaries in a firmer way. But the potential to collaborate, cooperate, connect, achieve more harmony is definitely there over this next half year. But it is important to make sure that the details work for you. And if you feel that you have been very given in a situation and haven't necessarily been heard, this could be a time when you need to be a little bit more proactive and combative as much as skilled in listening to what other people want too. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. So Scorpio, we all have responsibilities and obligations and chores that we need to attend to in life, but sometimes these become so workaday they lose their appeal. You have an opportunity on this event to bring some spark and some fresh energy and ideas to whether it is the work you do, the food you eat, the exercise you get, the outside of work interests you have. You have a huge energy on this event in your sister water sign of Pisces, but also your ruler Mars in a very constructive link to Saturn in Pisces. So if there's something you want to expand, it is going to require some practicality, some attention to detail, and some structure. And if you're someone who's up for that, prepare to really apply yourself, roll your sleeves up, go through the details step by step. There's a lot that you can gain and a lot you can improve over the next half year. Whether you change 10 things, 2%, 5%, 3.5%, add all that up. There is a spirit of change, but it is a spirit of change around perhaps the more mundane parts of life, but they're very important because they underpin the other parts of life that are much more attractive, much more exciting. So it is about the fundamentals. This eclipse gives you a chance to inject more passion into resolving some of the things that maybe you've been reluctant to look at, such as doctor's appointments, maybe making sure your home is running very smoothly. All these things are what this eclipse helps you to look at. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. Sagittarius, you have a wonderful chance with this eclipse to manifest your magnetism, your charisma. Turn it up to max. It's just that there's been such a lot of energy in your 4th house of home and emotion that maybe in some ways you've not been connecting with the more social and interactive and expressive parts of your situation, but now you have a chance to reconnect and reburnish the things that really make you unique. So whether it's your interest, whether it is meeting up with people and having some fun, whether it is romantically or in a flirty way, having an eclipse in the 5th house gives you a fantastic opportunity to really get on the front foot in that very fiery, exuberant way, which is a big part of who you are. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. Capricorn, if there are things you'd like to change about where you live, how you live there, and with whom, now's your chance. The next 6 months are going to be critical, particularly if there are things that you're wanting to finish off. Maybe it's some physical cosmetic changes to where you live. Perhaps you want to move altogether. Perhaps it's about adding someone to your family. Perhaps it is about moving home, relocating in some ways. Your immediate environment is very important to you. If you're in the northern hemisphere, the chances are you're going to want to spend a lot of the next 6 months in nature or near to water or in environments which are very pleasing to your senses. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. Aquarius, you are an air sign, and this eclipse occurs in house 3 for you, which has the flavour of Gemini, quick wits, fast exchanges, but most of all, the nimbleness that comes with Gemini, linked to the furnace that is the sun and the moon in Aries, a fire sign. But Mercury in the sign, the communicator, and which rules your second decan, is in retrograde. You could find you're rethinking or rediscussing certain parts of your situation, but it does link brilliantly to Pluto in your sign. Something can transform in your situation. If you have ideas to share, you're going to find that other people are much more receptive. Whether you get the rewards financially, that may require a bit more patience, and you're going to really get to a point in September with the solar eclipse then when you really start to attend to that part of the equation. But for now, it's very much about the dialogue, your bubbling enthusiasm. Sometimes your ideas are very future orientated. Not everyone is always ready for them, but the passion and enthusiasm that you have for them over the next half year can be very hard to resist. Please join me at my new website and check out your free natal horoscope at www.patrickarundell.com. You can also check out having a one-to-one with me, a video reading, or your personal horoscope report offer at 30% off. Please see below for more. Pisces, you have a wonderful opportunity to grapple with your everyday finances, self-worth and values over the next 6 months. If you feel that some of the ideas that you've been developing recently aren't quite gaining the traction that you want, that can now change. But it is going to require grit. You may have felt lower in vitality. You may feel a bit pulled around in terms of your different demands. If you can really focus on what's truly critically important to you, so much awaits, so many possibilities. What no one can doubt is the absolute thrust that you can gain if you're really committed. So if you're very sure about something that's important to you, the rewards can come. But most of all, the rewards can come about how you feel about you. because you are a sign that can be very giving to other people. Sometimes give so much it can leave you empty. Now you have a chance to be a bit firmer about what you will and won't give and what value you want to apply to your services or your time. Some people may find that difficult, but they will know that they need to deal with you in a truly respectful way over this next 6-month period. Being with you for this solar eclipse special, please check out my new website at www.patrickarundell.com.